Hi and welcome to my channel. In the lead into Valentine's Day this year, today is February 1st, 2025. In the lead into Valentine's Day, which is the 14th of February, obviously, this year, I am doing a series of readings which I am titling Adam and Eve in Legoland. These readings were born from a trip that I had to make to the Apple store a couple of days ago. And on my way there, I passed the Lego store and I was intuitively drawn in. And when I went in there, I started to get all of these downloads. And over the past couple of days, I've come and I've done readings on all of these messages that I had coming through. When you think about Lego, it's about building a relationship that you are building. These are soulmate readings. They are love readings, a collection of love readings, which will all be housed in this playlist, Adam and Eve in Legoland. Why Adam and Eve? Because I was getting the story of Wally and Eve from the movie Wally, and a lot of the other messages that were coming through, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the apple. A lot of the other messages that were coming through tied back to previous messages that I have been getting about divine couples with specific reference to Adam and Eve, and how the connection between the two drew one or the other out of a comfort zone and towards each other. So if you want the full crux of this story and the full story of my trip into the Lego store, make sure you watch reading 1. As I said, the link to them will be in the description box. But this intro, as I mentioned, will be used across all of the readings. So hopefully there will be some information in these readings for you. If you are currently in a soulmate journey with somebody and you're wanting to delve a little deeper into it, specifically a soulmate connection where you are in separation, or where there are hidden feelings as in Wally and Eve, or where there is something that is actually separating a connection, physically, mentally, financially, some sort of separation. So if that's something that interests you, I will see you in your reading. Hi and welcome to this reading. Today is another reading in the series of readings that I'm doing, which I've aptly titled Adam and Eve in Legoland. Now you would have heard the intro for this reading. It is part of a series of readings, and this particular reading, I'm pulling in the energy of a couple in separation. Now, if you can hear my dog in the background, he's growling, barking. I can hear things happening outside. But we've actually got the doors closed, so he can't see them. Suspects that something's going on, but he's not quite sure. A couple of songs were coming through. And interestingly, I don't normally do it, but I had to hang a load of washing in between when I'd done your pre-shuffle and when I'd started the reading. And I normally blow the candle out because I don't like naked flame in a room that I'm not in, but I forgot to. Somebody leaving an eternal flame, a candle that's still burning for somebody, even though they're potentially not sure of what's actually gone on or what's happening with the other person. Now, in the original reading, the reading that started off this series of readings, which was meant to be a single reading, I was telling the story about how we had inadvertently been headed to the Apple store and had to pass by the Lego store, which we'd never been into before. A separation, something that you've had to let go of. In that original reading, I was talking about Wally and Eve in the movie Wally and Snow White, and how those two female characters were present but absent. Wally had feelings for Eve, but Eve was focused somewhere else. Prince Charming had fallen in love with Snow White, but she wasn't, well, she was physically present, but she wasn't mentally present. The song that came through for this reading, and I was thinking about, and I'll show you a picture. This was in the Lego store. Now we've got Rocket, and we've got the Green Goblin, and the word marry me. And look at his face. As he's being proposed to. And I was thinking about that image when I was preparing for this reading. The song that was coming through, and it's by that Bahamas, it's called Lost in the Light. The imagery, I'll see if I've got it on my... The imagery on the album cover is what struck me. The imagery on that album cover is what struck me. It's somebody with their back turned and somebody else in the relationship not sure what's going on. The cards that came out in the pre-shuffle were delays and the North Node of Destiny. Your North Node is like your cosmic compass pointing you towards your life's ultimate mission. It's the secret source that unlocks your true potential, guiding you to focus on the skills and ambitions that will lead you to your brightest future. Those themes of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. They actually had to leave the Garden of Eden a sacrifice had to be made to leave the Garden of Eden. Somebody had to sacrifice something, and that imagery on that album is that somebody's physical health or somebody's mental health was sacrificed. Now that could be one person in this pairing, or it could be the other. And I'm not sure whether I said this, but this is a collective love reading. So a bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify that message. All of the readings on this channel are timeless. Whenever you stumble across it, you are meant to find it. As I said, this is part of a collective group of readings that is going in a playlist called Adam and Eve in Legoland. Legoland, what do you do with Lego? You build. What are you building? The relationship that you're building with this person, with this soulmate in your life. And if you think about Lego, if you've got a pile of Lego on the floor, if you've had little kids and you stand on it, it can be painful, but you can also build some amazing things. So when I think about that theme of sacrifice, I was pulling through the song, and I think it might be, it's no sacrifice, two hearts living in two separate worlds. Is that Elton John? What I'm actually pulling through here is that what happens almost as above, so below. What happens to one is mirroring what's happening to the other. And maybe one is in physical upheaval and the other one is in mental upheaval. Something to do with mental health, physical health. But because you're mirrored souls, you're mirroring that, but just in different ways. It pulls also through the movie A Walk to Remember. Now that's Mandy Moore. She has leukemia, I think. He's part of the cool crowd and she has leukemia, and he's paired with her for some reason. It's a high school romance. Paired with her for some reason and gets all of this grief from his friends. You know, what are you doing with her? She's weird, she's strange. But then he falls in love with her. And as soon as he falls for her, she pulls away. If you think about Eve and Snow White, there's some sort of block to the separation here because of some sort of mental, physical health issue. Now, in that particular movie, as she pulls away, she's his node of destiny. As she pulls away, he draws closer. He's lost in the light. He's following the light. She's almost like a northern star for him. She's following the light. He's following the light. She's following her own light, what she's meant to do. But he is then drawn towards her. I'm going to pull up some images because this is what was coming through as I was doing the preparation for this reading. When I was in the Lego store, as I said, we've got Marry Me, we've got the Green Goblin. Now, he spent weeks in hospital because he fed himself. I'm not really familiar with the Marvel movies. He spent weeks in hospital because he fed himself with some sort of concoction, and he ended up with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and mental health issues. But here he is, proposing to Rocket Raccoon. As I said, I'm not really familiar with the Marvel movies, so I don't have to really understand what imagery is coming through in a movie, what imagery is coming through in a movie. but it might be something that pertains to a story. You might resonate with one or both of those characters, or some sort of, I don't even know whether they're in the same movie, some sort of interaction that they've had. But I had to do a bit of background so I could give some context as to why those images were coming through. So as I said, the Green Goblin had mental health issues. Rocket Raccoon was an expert marksman and tactician, so maybe a planner. One person in this is a planner, and things just haven't gone to plan. Somebody who shoots their shot and never misses, but things just have gone a little wayward in both lives, because as I said, two hearts living, two hearts connected as one, but living in separate worlds. So what one is going through, the other is going through, but it's just manifesting in a different way. And I'm going to wait till he's finished, but my husband has just got the blower vac out, blowing away the cobwebs. Something is being blown out of this connection in terms of bringing things to light as to what's actually gone on. Okay, it's finished now. So when I was looking into this Rocket Raccoon character, again, I'm not familiar with the Marvel movies. Expert marksman, tactician. He had three arch nemesises, that word. He had three people, or three entities that he was in battle with. Judston Lakes, a mole, the Black Bunny Brigade, and somebody called Blackjack. Don't know whether that resonates with somebody. And Lord Divine, a lizard businessman. Kind of gives me slippery energy. Perhaps one person in this relationship is in a legal battle, a physical battle, a mental battle, and the other person is in a physical battle. But as I said, it's mirroring. But what actually popped up was the reason that character had been named Rocket Raccoon. He'd been named that from a Lennon and McCartney, or Beatles song, originally written by McCartney, but then Lennon popped in on the end, in 1968, called Rocket Raccoon. It was when the group had gone on a journey of meditation. And in doing that, they'd met a guy who had told them, and this is what the song is about, who had told them the story about this love triangle between three people. Now, I would say in this instance, and maybe in your situation, it is a love triangle between three people, and maybe you don't know what's going on. But a love triangle can also be the presumption that something is actually going on with somebody, or that because they pulled away, they're seeing somebody else, when it's actually that they have something going on in their lives that is taking center stage and needs their focus, something out of their control. So I'm going to pop these cards here, and we're going to see what, I'm not sure whether I said it. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs. So if you're called to any of them, the links to them can be found in the description box. I was deep in thought. Darling, leave the light on for me. That's Belinda Carlisle. Let's have a look at what angel is walking with you in this journey. Great fortune and spiritual protection, which would be because you are each other's north node of destiny, but one dragging the other along. And maybe, and I'm going to give away the storyline, but in that movie, A Walk to Remember, she dragged him out of a group of friends that weren't actually good for him, and she healed him. But her wish upon a star before she passed away was to be married, and he fulfilled that for her, which is why I got that Green Goblin, Rocket Raccoon, marry me. Great fortune and spiritual protection. You're each other's guiding lights, and that card is the World card. You're each other's karmic completion. And we have 42, political affairs and protection for travelers. A healing journey that you're both on. That's the Emperor. Stepping into your power and following the light, lost in the light. And on the bottom, number 16. which is a 7. Highly spiritual number. Loyalty, that's the Strength card. Physical, mental, emotional strength. To put aside maybe a fear that the other person is seeing somebody, is with somebody, and understand that they are just working through, with the World card, some sort of, or working towards some sort of karmic completion in their life so that they can move on to the next part of the journey with you. And that a delay doesn't mean that this person has been tempted elsewhere. It's just that they've got something that they need to focus on. Okay, I'm going to get a divine message for you. Falling in love with your authentic self. So that karmic completion within yourself before this union actually comes together. Higher power, guided by a higher power. Guided by each other, but guided by a higher power. Okay, let's get an energy. What's the energy in and around this connection? 5 of Swords, that's Venus and Aquarius. Heavy battles of your own, mental, physical. I want to say too, in the original drawing of this card, it's a guy holding 2 swords and all the other swords have been dropped. Dropping away anything that doesn't serve you to focus on whatever battle it is that you are in. Whatever mental, I just heard financial, political affairs and protection for travelers. The journey that you are on, putting down the swords, 10 of Wands, that's karmic completion. Putting down anything that doesn't serve you. Because you need to use all of your strength, that's the Strength card. You need to use all of your strength to focus solely on what's happening in your life at the moment. The energy of the pair of you in the 3D. The Hierophant. Connected. That's a soul contract that you have with God, but it's also a soul contract that you have with it's Taurus and Venus, but it's with the structures, the entities, the groups that you were with, the lot in life that you were served when you came into this life, before you met this person. You know, in that movie, her lot in life was that she was meant to have a terminal illness. His lot in life, he was in trouble with the law. He had a missing father figure in his life. He was with a group of friends that were doing all the wrong things. And she was the star that pulled him out of that. And in some ways, this 3D energy here, it's, in order to be pulled out of something, you have to be in it. It's like night and day. In order to be made aware of how toxic it is, you have to be shown something that's not. And that's a fairly foreign thing. If you think about somebody, you know, if you've got somebody in your life who is unwell and you're thinking, wow, they're not communicating with me, not knowing that maybe they've got to focus on other things, you can get lost in that, oh, well, they must be seeing somebody else, or they must be doing this, or they must be doing that. It's really hard to clear away the fear that perhaps somebody is not meant for you. 2 of Cups on the bottom. And the 4 of Cups, disappointment. That perhaps somebody, your soulmate, is not meant for you. That's a fear. Maybe they've chosen something else, when in actual fact it's not that at all. Because if you're mirroring this person, whatever battles you're going through, they are going through the same, but just in a different way. What's happening in the soul? The Emperor. Taking charge of their life in a different way. And that Emperor is facing this Hierophant, which is the lot that they've been given in life. Taking charge of the lot that they have been given in life. Getting to the karmic completion of that, which is the world. Completing that. You think of Eve in the movie Wall-E. Her task was to get that plant up to the spaceship. She wasn't focused on anything else. The Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune. But in that task, it actually brought them together, because they've got 2 birds on the card here. That task brought her to Earth, which then tied her into Wally, and then dragged him, because she was the star, dragged him up to the spaceship. It's like intertwined. Two hearts living in two separate worlds until the point where you meet. Now, serendipity did actually try to pop out. But for some of you, somebody's been in a battle, perhaps a battle with 3 people, a battle with the devil, Rocket Raccoon. I wonder what that song actually sounds like. I didn't actually listen to it. I will list those songs in the description box. What's the message from the man upstairs? A battle with the devil. I'm going to come back to that because I want more on that. But that is a battle with the devil. That's also Capricorn energy. This is major arcana for Capricorn, which adds up to a 6, which is love. And the outcome of this situation. High Priestess. That's that image on that card. And the Empress on the bottom. The hidden Empress on the bottom. That's that imagery on the cover art of that song. She's turned one way, 9 of Swords, in a world of pain on her own, physical, mental, a battle she's trying to win. The world. 9s are the end. This year is number 9. 9s are completion. 9s are the end. A battle that she's in on her own. That's hidden with the High Priestess. If I'm just talking about that imagery on the album cover, that's hidden from him. Okay, let's get some clarification on this 5 of Swords. I said putting the swords down and just focusing on the things that are important to you. In that movie, A Walk to Remember, he had to walk away from the soul contracts that he had with his friendship group. He put the swords down and he walked away because he was being drawn to her, to this hidden Empress, and he didn't know why. That was the Knight of Cups on the bottom. The 2 of Wands, Mars and Aries, and the World again. Because she was his karmic completion. Wally. You know, the thing is with that movie Wally, it was Wally that found what Eve was looking for. Eve didn't find it. Wally found it. Wally was Eve's karmic completion. She completed her task because of him. It's like so intertwined. 2 hearts living in 2 separate worlds. Intertwined. Making plans. Everything that the higher power, that the divine has planned for you is intertwined. The Hierophant. The Knight of Pentacles, that's Mother Mary. This is a highly spiritual connection. The Knight of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. Individual journeys, because Virgo is the Hermit card, which is a soul awakening. It's a dark night of the soul, a stripping back of everything that you know, because your focus needs to be on something that's more important, that ties you in with this connection that you have with this person. Page of Wands, sends you on a new journey. Freeing yourself from the confines of options. Freeing yourself from the confines of other people and choosing love. Emperor. This is what's happening in the soul. That's the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius and Jupiter. Jupiter is your point of destiny. It's 777. Divine timing. And the 5 of Pentacles is walking away, but it's also this feeling of the battle that you've been in. That's a card of being left out in the cold. The Mercury in Taurus, the battle that you've been in, in the 3D, in the physical, whether it's physical, mental, financial, political, whatever it is, battle with your friends, your family, whatever it is, dropping the swords and walking away and following whatever it is that takes you to your destiny, which is your authentic truth, which is your spiritual love. And that's what brings in this Emperor and Empress. If you look at the moment, they're actually facing apart. One's facing one way, one's facing the other. That's that imagery on the front of that album cover. The Devil. We've got the Empress again on the bottom. The Devil. And that's what I wanted to find out. What is this Devil? The King of Cups. And the Devil again. Wow. The King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces for me is going down to the depths of your spiritual truth, cutting away. It's a karmic lesson in cutting away anything that doesn't serve you, because you've got bigger things that you've got to focus on before this relationship can come into union. But it's making sure that you don't get in your head. And it's an easy thing to do, and we've got the Nine of Swords here. It's an easy thing to do when literally everything is falling apart around you, to then look at something that is important and special in your life and to attach that negative thought pattern to it as well, because you don't really know what's going on. Trusting your intuition. Part of a karmic lesson, because we've got two worlds here. This is the world, this is the world. Actually, we had the world somewhere else too, didn't we? Two worlds, two hearts living in two separate worlds. Falling in love with your authentic self. Okay, the Nine of Swords. I just had a card on the floor. The Four of Wands. Marry me. That's the marry me card. And the Six of Wands. Victory after a long battle. This is beautiful, this reading. Oh, wow. And on the bottom, the world. Karmic completion. I just said, and that's all she wrote. Chariot underneath that, and the Three of Cups, which is celebration. After things being delayed, things being in a pause, after potentially you get the understanding that somebody's actually, that your soulmate, the delay has been because they've been in a bigger battle that's taken up their time. And whether it's something that they've been battling physically, or whether, as with Rocket Raccoon, whether it's something that they've been battling, Lord Divine, a lizard businessman, Judston lashes a mole, Black Bunny Brigade, Blackjack. It's Blackjack poker. Interesting. But that Rocket Raccoon character, expert marksman and tactician, weaving their way out of a situation potentially that's taken longer than they thought. Okay, let's get a Moon Oracle. Gone all fumbly with my hands. Don't know why that happened. Night and day, look. Two hearts living in two separate worlds. Mutable moon, where nothing is carved in stone. Now the mutable moon, that's, try and say it before you laugh at me saying it. Mutable moon. And say it fast 3 times. Mutable moon, no, I can't. Mutable moon, mutable moon. Holy crocky moly. Okay, the mutable moon. When I've done it again. Somebody's stumbling over their words. Mutable moon, when nothing is carved in stone. What that is every day, I think it's every 24, 48 hours, the moon changes from one astrological sign to the next. And there's a period as it crosses the sky where it leaves one constellation and moves into the next. But there's almost like a no man's land where it sits in. You might be sitting in no man's land. It's not quite out of the last sign, but not quite in the next sign. It's almost like midnight. Is midnight the end of today or the start of tomorrow? Cinderella vibes, mutable moon, where nothing is carved in stone. And maybe that's why nothing is set. If this person is a tactician, used to having everything planned out, but a higher power is like, actually, you know what? Life's not like that. The moon waxes, inspiring the persistence of luminous dreams. And what that is saying is, even though you can't see the outcome, know that if you are following your star, if you are following your point of destiny, if you are following this destined love, if you are Wally following Eve up into the sky, it's part of your destiny. You are tied, you are locked in together. Now, we don't want one of those because I already got one of those. I'm going to get you some love songs. Let's see what we've got. Here Comes the Sun, Illumination. That's the Beatles. And it was the Beatles, was that original song, Rocket Raccoon. Here Comes the Sun. That's from the B movie. Make You Feel My Love. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there is no one to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. One more. My Universe, Coldplay and BTS. And they said that we can't be together because we come from different sides. Two hearts living in two separate worlds. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first. And you are my universe. You make my world light up inside. How beautiful. Kiss Me, that's Sixpence None the Richer. That's from the movie Reality Bites. Reality has bitten these two individuals because they had karmic lessons to complete before the union of this relationship. Intertwined, already intertwined, but karmic lessons to complete. And intertwined in terms of one person's destiny lies in the other person's destiny. You might actually have some Jupiter connections because that Jupiter is destiny. The Wheel of Fortune, you might have things linking up in your charts with Jupiter. Intertwined destinies. But Reality Bites. The title of that movie, Reality. You had to live in the 3D first before you could take this love to a spiritual level. But what's actually happening in reality for both of you in turn affects the other. Physically, mentally, and maybe you don't even realize that is a connection. But it's like mirrored souls. Two hearts living in two separate worlds. It's like conjoined twins. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get you some love messages. Let's see. Okay, Illumination. Here Comes the Sun. I couldn't handle the power of our connection. Boundaries. Maybe boundaries were put up. Love Begins. I am the happiest when I'm with you. I owe you an apology. And that was upside down. So I actually don't think anybody owes anybody an apology because nobody's done really anything wrong. You've just had to learn and go through the lessons that were part of, with the Hierophant there, that initial phase of your connection, which almost connected you in. It's almost like two train tracks that sort of connected. Part of the karmic lessons that you had to go through first, tied in. You are the love of my life. Don't listen to others, just listen to your heart. And harmony, that's what brings harmony. We need more balance, and we've got that because we have the Temperance card. Okay, so I'm going to get you some Scrabble tiles, letters and numbers in here. Could be your first, middle, last initial, or that of your person. I'll call them out. When I give this a shake, it does make a little bit of noise. So if you've got hearing sensitivity, just turn your volume down. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. We've got the moon on the front of here. That's the girl with the pearl earring. Its connection's been closed in the shell. And now it's being cracked open. But the moon is things that are hidden, which is what we had. No, that was in the reading before. Hidden in plain sight. A U and a 1, a K, a 5, a C and a 3, a H and a 4. I just heard change. M and a 3, an R and a 1, an S and a 1, an L and a 1, a T, lost in the light, an F and a 4, an I. That's illness. Somebody might have MRI. A Y and a 4, wanting to be a fly on the wall, knowing what's going on with the other person but not able to know. A P and a 3, and a V and a 4. Okay, let me get you 3 final cards. Give you any extra information about this relationship. Knight of Wands, the Hermit, and the Page of Cups. So here, the Page of Cups is a secret admirer. Somebody holding back their feelings, because with the Hermit there, the feelings of the other person are unknown. Not because that other person doesn't have feelings, but because the other person is focused on something that is part of a karma that they have to complete in this lifetime. Because we've got the World card too many times, 3 World cards there. And so it's almost like the divine, the higher power, look at that, the Hierophant, keeps this connection on ice. 4 of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Capricorn, keeps this connection, 4-4. There we go, look. Keeps this connection on ice, which causes angst. Because the 4 of Cups is disappointment. The 3 of Swords is heartbreak, because something's being held back by the divine. This 2 of Cups relationship is being held back by the divine. Why? Because you have to both individually build your strength through whatever karmic lesson it is, physical, mental, spiritual lesson that you're going through, in order to herald this new beginning. And why is that? Because, look, we've got the World card again. The Ace of Pentacles is the slowest moving ace. But it's the ace where you build a solid foundation. Good things take time is what I heard. And we've got the World and the Wheel of Fortune. What a beautiful reading. That's what I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining me. As I said, this reading is part of a collection of readings called Adam and Eve in Legoland. If you resonated with this reading, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you are called to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to them can be found in the description box. I will also list any movies that I mentioned and any songs that came through in the description box as well. Have a look at the music videos, the lyrics, the background story of why that song was made. If it was attached to a movie, there might be more messages in them for you. I'll also list that playlist in the description box as well. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you again in another reading.